Hello, Vudani here, and today I have a Ranger PvP video. I am using the Shortbow and Axe/Warhorn. I really do find this combination for the Ranger to be one of the more powerful combinations. The Axe and Warhorn combo is really good for transitioning, while the Shortbow is just insane bleed damage, and that's gonna really be effective on heavier armored targets such as Guardian. Well, some Guardians, more so Warriors. It's good for Warriors. Guardians can be an issue because they have a crap load of condition removals, but generally anyone that can't remove conditions or has a hard time dealing with conditions is just gonna have a handful with this build. And right there I opened up with a few axe attacks. You got the nice AoE poison, I believe. It might have been bleed, but here you can see the Shortbow go to work. I have the F4 to switch my pets. It may seem like I just have one Devourer there, but that is two variations of Devourers, and switching those pets is going to give you 2 seconds of quickness, and in those 2 seconds you can do an insane amount of damage with the Shortbow. It's a very nice combo. I really do enjoy this for Ranger. That 24-second cooldown is what I believe it is with the traits I have selected, and you're just gonna get a whole lot of burst potential with this build. You can see that Necro Necro was just ticking away there, and here goes this Ranger down, and we're cleaning up this point. A lot of it having to do with me just being able to sit outside and just absolutely destroy people from the back. If you're familiar with Ranger, you do know that the Shortbow does have a few weaknesses. One of those being direct combat. You're gonna gain a lot more damage if you are behind enemies, so that is always something to worry about. Positioning is probably more important with a Ranger than any other class and build. I'm sure there are some exceptions, but I find Ranger to just, you really have to be in position. If even with the longbow, if you're too close, you're not going to be as effective. With the Shortbow, if you are not shooting their backs, you're not going to be as effective. So while the class is fairly straightforward in how it does its damage, it does have a couple subtle distance issues. And right here I'm just going to open up in this group here, do a good amount of damage, but they are holding this fairly well right now. It's their point, and this is at their capture point. We should be able to take this quickly, and you see me applying regeneration. That's very good with the healing spring of the Ranger. That heal is a very powerful one, especially with a build like this, since you are at range and generally you're going to be in the same spot. And here this other Ranger looks like he was using a sword. Not a good choice in my opinion, but he goes down easily, and we're trying to hold these people off. And as you can see, it's fairly straightforward how you deal damage with this build, and that's going to be just auto attacking and trying to get the regenerations. Any fields that you can be in with this build are going to be very useful. The projectile attack of the #1 ability of the Ranger, their auto attack, it happens incredibly fast. So if you can be in anything right there, I'm in that lifesteal one. If you can get in any field, it's going to be very effective with this build. You're firing just so incredibly fast. You do also have a couple utility skills. The #5 ability is a nice stun, but you do want to make sure you're behind people when you're doing that. A lot of your utility is good for targets that are running away, or if you're trying to kite, your #4 is going to be useful for crippling them. And right now I'm just really trying to kill as many people as I can. That's going to net you a lot of points. This is what this build is intended to do. It's intended to apply constant bleeding pressure. And right here, here's a little 2v1. That Necro should go down from the bleeds, and this is where I really got to watch out. There's the charge shot. I did dodge early, and it ended up hitting me pretty hard there. And our team is falling. It looks like they just got that stomp to trigger some rallies, and I need to try to pull out here. We're losing that point, but we did hold it for a very long time, and we are ridiculously far ahead at this point. We just basically got worn down over time. That looks like that Necro didn't actually go down. That's kind of expected with how many people were reinforcing that point, but I'd say all in all that was a pretty successful engagement there. I pretty much was able to sit back and spam my auto attack, and You'll find that if you have good supporting teammates, you're going to be able to do that quite frequently with a ranger, and that is really what you need to try to do. If you can get in the back and just apply constant pressure, you'll find that people will just melt. The pressure that a ranger can put on someone, it's almost like you don't really realize it because it's bleed damage, but as it builds up, and once they get behind you with quickness, you'll just find that your health just starts to melt. With the F4 swap in the Lashtails, it's just so useful. And right here, I'm probably gonna do a quickness soon, but just running in, and looks like we're gonna be able to take that point back. And this opposing team here is just, a lot of them can't really handle conditions well, and that's really not gonna work out. There are a couple classes that will give good condition removals, but you don't really see those in hot join matches too much, which is why I do like a lot of bleeding builds in my hot join builds. It's just very useful. Right now we're going to push their point here. I have the Elementalist targeted. He is overextending a bit, but looks like a Staff Ellie, fairly durable weapon set for the Elementalist, so he's probably not going to go down, and I'm just going to pick off illusions because why the hell not? And here comes this Necro charging in with Swiftness and Locust Swarm. And this is a bit of the weakness for the Ranger, not very good at direct combat. You do have your number 4 ability, which I don't believe I was really using too much, but I'm getting focused down. I'm going to drop my healing well there and roll away. And it looks like our team is getting overwhelmed a bit. We aren't fully reinforcing that point, but I'm going to be able to down this Ranger, and here comes the Stomp with the quickness to make sure of it. And very useful. The quickness you also have for Stomp. Rampage As One, I believe, was also active. That is the ultimate. I find Rampage As One to be a little bit more effective than Entangling Roots, although in a situation such as this, Entangling Roots could just absolutely destroy some people. But it seems like it's gone through quite a few iterations of that ability, and in the current iteration, I'm just really not happy with it. I prefer Rampage As One, and there the game ends, and that was a pretty dominant win. A lot of that had to do with the amount of pressure we had, and they just really couldn't handle the conditions I was putting on it. As always, I hope this video is helpful. If you have any suggestions on a Ranger Shortbow build, I'm definitely looking to work on this. I know this build has a little bit more potential to possibly do more damage, but I really just like the Protect Me skill, and I mean the slot skills for this build I find are very effective. Thanks for watching!